Hello there. I'm here in LA with living legend.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, Marky Ramone.
Hi.
How are you, Marky?
Hello, very good. How are you? It's good to be in Los Angeles. Good to see you guys here, and here we are.
Awesome. So I'm here because you are gonna re-release the Dust, your first one, right?
Yeah.
Dust.
We were teenagers in high school, and those two albums that are being re-released kick ass. There was no metal in America, maybe 2 or 3 other bands besides Dust. England had the heavy metal going already, and we had our metal going. And we were 3 guys from Brooklyn, New York. Instead of getting into fights and gangs and being thrown in jail, we rather rehearse and become good musicians, which we did become at our age. So I was still going to school, so was the bass player, and we started writing the songs and making the album, and that was it. The album we recorded it in 1970, and it's 40 years old. And then we did another one in 71, came out in 72. So now people have this renewed interest about Dust. We remastered it, repackaged it, and it kicks. I still have to say this, it kicks ass. It sounds twice as big as it did when it came out, but we didn't interfere with the original recording. We just remastered it. So this is me at 18, Kenny at 18, Richie Wise at 19, who went on to produce the first 2 Kiss albums at 20 years old, and Kenny Aronson went on to play with Joan Jett, Bob Dylan, Billy Idol, and everybody.
Yeah.
Rick Spring, all of them. And I ended up working with Rolling Stones producer Andrew Oldham, who produced Satisfaction, Get Off of My Cloud, and 19 Nervous Breakdown, and then I ended up in the punk scene. I started hanging out at CBGB's, and the rest is history.
Are you considering punk?
Dust?
No, you yourself.
What's this?
Do you consider yourself a punk person? I mean, you play in the Ramones, you are part of the punk movement, but since you have done Dust and other things.
Well, Dust was way before punk rock. You know, I mean, it was a heavy assault. I wouldn't put it in the category of punk. It's more of a very, very heavy metal genre. Then after Dust broke up, I started hanging out at CBGB's, and I played with 3 punk bands, and I auditioned for the Dolls. They all wanted me to play with them. There's only one of me, you know. So
New York Dolls.
Yeah, Billy, their first drummer, died. Then me and Jerry Nolan went to the audition. Jerry got it, and good, you know, because then I might not have gotten into playing with Richard Hell.
Well, imagine you will dress as a woman if you took the Dolls. It's in the Ramones.
Exactly. The problem with that was in America, a lot of people weren't into buying records with people that looked like, you know, wearing women's clothes on their covers. But if they didn't, they'd be another punk band. You know, they would have probably gotten accepted more. But then Richard Hell came out, the Heartbreakers, the Ramones, Patti Smith, Blondie, you know, all those groups. So the punk scene started, and it was easy to play that compared to what I do in Dust.
Right.
So you know, it was just different music. That's all.
So is plans only the release the albums, or get together, play again?
Well, they're going to be re-released on Sony Legacy. It's like Warner's Rhino. A lot of people come up to me with the older Dust albums that they kept, or CDs they found somewhere from other little labels that put it out once the albums did come out a long time ago. And they go, is there going to be a reunion? Is there going to be this? Is there going to be that? We love the songs, and I don't think there's going to be a reunion, because the guitar player doesn't play anymore. The bass player does, and of course I do. I'll always play. But you know, you never say never. But to replace the guy who sang and played the guitar you know, it's a pretty big part of a role to play in a band, and then just to replace them, you know.
Yeah.
So
you were 10 people, probably would be easier, but only 3.
10,
Like
that's
one
right.
missing.
Yeah, right. I didn't miss that guy. It was, you know what I mean. But 3, you can easily see, you know.
Yeah.
So.
I mentioned you are a living legend. How do you feel being a legend, being part of so much history in the rock music?
I'm just a regular guy who was very lucky. You know, I was able to play very well, and in the end, that's what matters. It's not your image. It's not you know, the arguments and fights that the Ramones had, or how much we loved each other, hated each other, brothers, not brothers, families. It's the music in the end that mattered, you know. So, you know, the living legend thing, the only thing that I can relate to that is I'm the one keeping the living legacy alive. You know, the Ramones, unfortunately, 3 of them passed away. Yeah. So I'm here to keep the music alive, touring, playing the songs, and doing them right. And that's my job, because I think Johnny, Joey, and Dee Dee would have liked to have known that I'm doing this.
Since you brought this, when they passed it so close between each other,
yep.
What did you feel at that moment? I mean, are you gonna be the next one, or what happened?
Well, they was 3. Well, 3 of them. I mean, Joey died in 2001, and then Dee Dee died, and then Johnny. So they always say things come in 3s. So I don't know. I mean, maybe the reason why Joey and Johnny got the cancer was because of their continuing fighting and animosities towards each other. But who knows why? But, you know, it's a shame, because they died too young.
Yeah.
You know, and then Dee Dee died from an overdose, and he was clean for years, and then he just decided to put a needle in his arm, and he died. So, you know, I miss them. I think about them every day, and, you know, I'm going to continue playing the songs, because they're too good not to be played.
So I hear you are writing your book, right?
I'm writing my book about the beginning of my life, my time in the music business up until now. The bands I've been in, CBGBs, Max's Kansas City, Wayne County and the Backstreet Boys, auditioning for the Dolls, the Ramones, Richard Hell Tour with the Clash, what it was like in the 70s in New York and the punk scene, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Grammy that I won, the Lifetime Achievement Award Grammy. Everything, the times when I was drinking, and I had to get out of the Ramones, and what I went through to get sober, and the rehabs, and all the crazy stuff, and all the nutty things that happened, and it's one hell of a book.
Is it already done, or is it still writing?
90% done.
Okay.
It has to be finished by this June.
What about? Are you going to mention your touring, since this is for your Latin countries, like Mexico, Argentina, and you are so big there?
I'm going to definitely have it in every language.
You mentioned, well, when I went to, I don't know, Brazil.
Of course. Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Mexico, Spain, Colombia. I mean, those places loved us. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
We loved it there. And I still love it there. I mean, that's why I go back. I don't forget, and I will never forget. The way they embraced us. It made us all very grateful and happy.
How did you feel when you saw all the mass jumping, like it used to happen in Argentina, and I assume Brazil, other countries?
Well, we were giving them a good time, fun. And we always had fun playing to them. And that's why we continued playing, because we saw what we were doing. And, after the show, we go, wow, did you see that? That was amazing. And then, you know, when we were asked to come back, we said definitely, because of what we remembered being there, you know. That's why I made Raw, the DVD Raw of the Ramones. A lot of that footage in South America is in there because of how great it was, you know. That was our best-selling DVD.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
I heard you collect sci-fi movies or what?
No.
Tell me about your collect.
Sci-fi robots from the 50s, sci-fi posters from the 50s. I like 50s movies. They're not really collectibles, but I like their charm. I like the 50s tin toys. I like the posters. I love the artwork. You know, they were great artists who made these posters that promoted the movies that were coming out, you know, to the theaters. Yeah. So I collected them with Johnny Ramone. We would go, when we toured the States, we would look up where the local poster store was. We'd go there and you know, rummage through the bins where the posters were, and we would buy all of them, basically. And they were so cheap at the time. Now it's the prices are ridiculous, you know. But we just loved the way they looked, and you know, that's why we collected them.
Yeah, since eBay now everything is expensive.
eBay, you never know what you're getting. Got to be careful.
Yeah,
because they can make copies.
Oh yeah.
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 Computer copies now. You know.
Wow. Oh yeah. Oh, be careful there. Any Argentina story?
Yeah. The stadium was great. The crowds running after us as we were in the street walking around. The passion they showed, and the loyalty. It's just great, you know. Everywhere in South America, not just there. That's why I wrote the song "Three Cheers for You" for Argentina, Brazil, and Chile. You know, just because of how much they loved us. And the food is great. The food kicks ass, and you know, just being there. You know, it's a sense, it's a certain sense of freedom.
What about your relationship with the other Ramones, the one are living?
Well, I really don't have a relationship with them anymore. I mean, they're not really around. Tommy's Uncle Monk, he just plays bluegrass music with his wife. And the other two basically were sidemen. You know, that's how it was. With CJ, the understanding was if Dee Dee wanted to come back in the band, CJ would have to leave, and Dee Dee would come back. And Richie just took my place for 3.5, 4 years until I got sober. That's what it was. You know what I mean? But me, Johnny, Joey, Dee Dee, and Tommy won the Hall of Fame awards and the Grammys. So it's really the 5 Ramones that kept it together, because we were there from the beginning. You know, the other 2 came later. You know, but they did good things, CJ and Richie. So I'm not knocking them, but what I think they should do is start a band together.
Why not?
I know. I mean, I always say that they should start a band together, but you know, the 5 Ramones, the from the 70s. I don't see anybody anymore. I mean, my closest friend was Dee Dee in the group.
Yeah.
And Joey, I did his solo album with him. So that's really my involvement. I mean, there's really no one left. You know what I mean? I mean, I was with them for 15 years, and now they're gone.
What do you miss most, being with them?
What I miss most being with Dee Dee was the laughing, the fun. Joey was a really good songwriter. Well, so was Dee Dee. But you know, we who knows? We could have done other things later on if he was still alive. John, I miss the poster collecting, and you know, the
horror movies. Right?
Yeah, always discussing horror movies with him, directors, actors, sci-fi stuff. So, you know, these are things you always remember. You try to think of the good things, you know, so that's important, you know.
The other day I saw it's going to be a new movie for Phil Spector with
It's out already.
Okay, it's already out.
Yeah,
okay.
already came out. It was aired 2 nights ago.
What do you think? Did you see the movie?
Yeah, I saw the movie.
What do you think? You play with Phil.
Yeah, I knew Phil. I was with him before he went away. This is my opinion. What everybody else thinks, that's theirs. I think he's.
Don't get in trouble, okay?
I think he's innocent, but my wife would disagree. So would a lot of other people. You know, I mean, he produced one of our albums. There were no guns drawn out in the studio at us. That's just a rumor. They met him another time at his house, his first mansion, and I think he pulled the gun out, but, you know, it wasn't in the studio. So all these rumors were a bunch of baloney. He did have the guns on him, but he never pointed them at us. And the reason why he demanded John do those chords over and over and over again in rock and roll high school was not to be mean to him. It was because he wanted to get a certain sound. And John didn't understand that. And Phil was the producer. You don't tell Phil Spector what to do. You know, he's the most famous American producer, without a doubt, at the time. So you know, the room is I will discuss in my book. I'll set everything straight, and you know, when you read it, you'll see.
So we got a preview, right?
Yeah, you'll see.
Nice. Okay, there's anything else you wanna share with us?
I'll be coming to Argentina very soon.
Yeah.
And I hope to see you there.
You're gonna be in several cities in June. It will be in my city, Mar del Plata.
Good. More the better.
Yeah.
More the better, definitely.
What do you expect to? What will happen? What do you expect that happen in your next visit to Argentina?
As usual, having a lot of fun with the fans and friends and stepping off the plane. You know, that feeling.
Okay, one more thing before we finish. You're gonna be in Rock in Rio, and you're gonna be by the time this interview will be online, probably you already played for Nancy Sale.
Yeah.
But tell me something about it.
About Nancy?
Yeah.
Well, the thing we're doing tomorrow at the Whiskey in L.A. is for multiple sclerosis, and it's a charity event. And I was asked to be part of it, and I said definitely, you know. So I put together a band of good players, Gilby Clarke from Guns N' Roses, Billy Morrison from Billy Idol's band, and a few other people. And we're going to do 5-6 Ramones songs. There's going to be a lot of bands playing. So I thought that would be a cool thing to do.
What about Rock in Rio?
Rock in Rio, we're playing there. I always wanted to do it. Now we're going to do it.
In September.
September.
Yeah, we heard somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. Marky Ramone, okay. Thank you, man.
Thank you.